As a previous commercial airline pilot, I know that we cannot change the human condition, but we can change under which condition human works. This insight was very key to the start of this company. When I was with my wife, when she was treated at the hospital with the infusion therapy, I recognized there is an underlying risk of mixing the drugs due to human error. Because I know that we as pilots make many mistakes each flight, but we are two in the cockpit and we have checklists and we have fail-safe systems to take care of that. The nurses are there by themselves. We are addressing two problems. First is accidental drug mixing. And how large is this problem? We know that 90% of the patients treated at hospitals receive infusion treatment of some sort. 74% of those drugs given should not be mixed. Either we know that they cannot be mixed or they're mixing the compatibility data for it. We know that within the drugs given in infusion therapy, 26% are potentially life-threatening if they are mixed. And we also seen studies saying that 46% of the nurses have actually witnessed drug incompatibility to occur 3 to 10 times within the last month. And that is what they see. Usually, you don't see anything at all. Sometimes you see some crystals forming, cloudiness in the tubing. We also address another problem, spillage from disconnections. I know it's called anti-cancer drugs, but actually the drugs given are cancerogenic and mutagenic themselves. There are 7.3 million nurses working in Europe alone and are exposed to hazardous drugs in their work environment. And studies have shown that there are 17,000 incremental spontaneous abortions. And 10,000 children are born with malformities of mothers who have been handling hazardous drugs. And additionally, 2,200 leukemia cases. I found this quite unfair. They are healthy workers being there treating patients with cancer. This is our solution. I invented Rondello. Rondello is the first and only device, physical device, that can prohibit parallel infusion of multiple drugs connected to the lure inlets and enable neutral flushing fluid in between to further reduce drug incompatibility down the line. We have 2, 4, and 6 inlets, transparent and UV for light-sensitive drugs. We're going to be experts in producing these in very high volumes in Sweden. Now, we have actually created a completely new space, because if we look at all the devices used within infusion therapy or devices at all out there, we can see that we have actually introduced a new segment, the first and only component to be used for incompatible drugs when drugs are to be given in series with flushing fluid in between. Thereby, we're going to convert from the large quantity of products used down to the left, up to the new segment, up to the right. Because, for instance, within oncology, rarely you need more than one drug at one time, and you should, according to guidelines, give them with flushing fluid in between. And that's exactly what we are solving. But we're not going to sit still and wait for this to happen. This large volume of demand of components will not happen by itself. Luckily, we have a few customers, early adopters already, but we're going to push the adoption. So we, as a small company, actually going to bring forward these final devices to the markets also. CE mark them and 510K, and we're going to sell them not not many, in small volumes, but just show what you can do and show the interest to the larger companies so they wake up and really understand they need to buy our components and integrate to their IV sets. To the left, we can see something that will be used in the USA, and furthest to the right, we can see something that is used in Europe. You can notice the drip chamber position is different. But we solve both problems in both parts of the world. And in between, we see some adapter versions. The market is huge. We know this. 5.9 billion primary IV sets sold annually. If we look only to the specific area where I found this to be a problem to be solved, we can see there's 190 million IV sets for oncology alone. But remember, 74% of the drugs given within infusion therapy should not be mixed. We have 91 patents approved, not pending, approved, granted, in 30 countries worldwide, with 8 patent families. We're based in Sweden. Our first customer was in Brazil this summer. Our second customer, US. So we now started to deliver to the customers we have gained interest from the last 2 years when we have been in trade shows in US and Europe. And now we're starting to deliver also shortly within Europe. Our team is great. We are focusing very much on the nurse. So Ida Virtala was the first person I found when I Googled online who are educating nurses in Sweden. Now she's working full-time within the company since 3 years, and I call her my co-founder. We have good experience on the quality side as well, and we have the required marketing and R&D, financial, and support with sales and logistics. Also in the board, we have renowned entrepreneurs and Medtech experience. And also, we have one of Europe's best patent attorney at law, Fredrik Lyning. We are moving into new facilities 1st of December in Helsingborg, Sweden, where we can produce up to 20 million rondello from July next year. That's 1 rondello per second. And that's just the start. We're looking now for 4 million euros. The total funding need this year was 5.9, but we too got the EIC accelerator grant of 1.9. In this situation here, we say we look for 4 million euros, but EIB back us with 2 million euros if we can find another investor for 2 million euros. So somewhere between 2 to 4 is our need. And we're going to use this to bridge the gap. Because sometimes you think you only need money until you can start to sell, and then everything will go as planned, and hopefully it will. But we're starting now sales from zero. So we're going to bridge the gap from introduction until we can stand on our own 2 legs. So product development is behind us, so please come join us and help us aid nurse to do right. Thank you.